Am I here?
There, you're here. Hello, here.
Oh, I only got to frame myself up.
There we go. That is a bright sweatshirt. Did you get that
Uh,
in Mississauga?
I don't know where it came from, but I decided to wear the brightest. Really, I wanted to pop. I want to stand out here.
Oh, you're popped like a freaking highlighter, bud. Well, it's nice to meet you in person. I was just saying on the live before, I discovered you probably like a month ago, and I think your stuff is freaking great, and your production value is amazing. So
Thank you.
I want to know, who is Herzy1000? Like, first of all, where did the 1000 come from? You thought it was cool?
I think someone actually may have had Herzy already.
So you're like, all right, not Herzy1, we're gonna do Herzy1000.
You know what? I may have just watched Infinity War or Endgame,
Okay.
and then they say I love you 3000. Maybe it came from that. I don't know. Unfortunately, someone had my actual name as their TikTok, Brian Herzog, which because I was late to getting TikTok, so
Right.
someone had that. So I was like, what should I do next? And when I started TikTok, I didn't really think I would be doing a lot of TikTok, and now
Why is that?
I don't know. I guess originally it felt like it's more for kids. Like I didn't really know much about it,
Yeah.
and I was really trying to push Instagram, and YouTube was like my primary focus. And then I came on to TikTok, and I actually like it a lot. I like it. I like it here a lot better.
It's amazing, the discovery of the platform, and that's what you need as a creator, is to just get discovered, right? So I think that's where like the attraction is for TikTok, and obviously you can grow an audience fairly quickly. But yeah, you're fucking killing it now. I mean, I think when I messaged you the first time, you were around 5,000, and you even said like, "I'd love to do a live, but let's like wait till 10K because then it'll be like worthwhile." And it's like, well, now you're at like 21.6 within that time, so it's huge. What is it like when your videos hit finally like 3 million? I think you're at 3.3 or something like that for that one, the mom.
It felt really good. It felt good. It felt really good because like the number of like 1 million is like something that you, as a creator of any kind, like that's sort of like that's the goal, really, to be in the millions. And I've been trying for a very long time with YouTube and like skits and comedy music videos and all sorts of stuff, and just to finally achieve it, and then it to hit one, and then one turns to three pretty quick, and then you're like, okay, wow, like TikTok really has a bit more powerful reach here.
Yeah,
And then just
and
to
I
get
think
it off
even
of
that video, the mom video waking up her kid, that didn't have like, it didn't kick off right away. It was like on
no.
there for like a few days, and then suddenly, bam, it hit, right?
Yeah, which is interesting because like I didn't really like I had that idea for a long time, and I was like, I don't really know, like, should I do this? Is it good? And then one day it was like 2 p.m. and I was like, I got to get a video done today. What am I doing if I'm not getting a video out? So I just was like, let's just do this. And then I made it on the phone, which is something I usually don't do with videos.
Right.
And I just like I edited it really quickly, and I just put it out there, and it got nothing on Instagram, and then it didn't really get anything on YouTube, and it didn't get much on here. And then I was like, I felt like, oh, that's why I don't like doing phone videos, and I want to take more time. And then it got some traction, and then I was like, it's funny, when it hit the million, I was like 11:30 p.m. and I was like, I literally was like, woo! like, I like had that
high five.
Yeah, and I was like, I felt like, one, I was like, I wanted to be excited, but I was like, it's getting late. If I get too excited, I'll be up all night.
I gotta make the next video. I gotta make the follow up.
I tried. That's what I also thought. I was like, am I gonna chase? Am I gonna be a chaser now and try to?
I think if it's warranted, if you as a creative can warrant a second one, you think it's better than the first one, or like, a good compliment to the first one, then by all means, for sure. I did the same thing. I had one. I think the highest video that I have right now is like 1.7 million, and I did a follow up, and it got like 8,000. It's like same topics. Like it was all about Netflix when Netflix was deciding to charge for multiple users and all that stuff.
I saw that.
Yeah. So it's like boycott Netflix, and then I follow up with the second one. It's like 8,000. So I guess that's over with.
But I
Um,
guess isn't that's how like the algorithm sort of works? Like you win some, you lose some.
Totally. Dude, like you just even said, you woke up one day and you're like, I need to do a video. What am I going to do? It's those ones that you don't spend too much time thinking about and you just do it. And before you know it, it's like getting hits. Whereas the one that you planned for like 2 weeks, that you've given to like the script to friends and like, what do you think of this? And like, how am I going to shoot that? The ones that you put so much thought into are the ones that do nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
So, having said that, what is your background with production? Because you're obviously good with production, like the green screen and just the cutting and the creativity and the like. You have a lot of people that are in your videos, right? So, where does this all come from?
Well, I guess I've been making skits for a while, and in the film world, um, I did a lot of Second City after university, and that's where I met a lot of the people that I would put in that I work with in the videos. Just doing improv and stuff like that. And I mean, I don't actually. My camera is only 1080p that I shoot all my stuff with.
But there's a certain finesse, like you can see it's clean. You know, it's not like
the lighting.
yeah, the lighting's good, the audio's good, and it's just like snappy. Like it's clean. Like it's not someone who just used the green screen app or a filter and like did it. You know, like there are those people. Yours is just a little bit more well thought out. So
Well,
that's just one thing I noticed.
I like to think a little bit.
I come from a video production background too. Like I'm a video producer. I make commercials and stuff like that. And I started the Canadian show just because I thought it was cool to promote Canadian creators, Canadian businesses, and like good things about Canada. Because one thing I found on TikTok is that there's so much negative stuff, especially over the past few years about Canada. I'm like, let's talk about some good things that we have. You know, that's where I kind of came up with my ideas. But this isn't about me.
Oh, wait, it is. I'm still. I really like the name, The Canadian Show. Like when you messaged me the first time, I was like, "Oh, what the hell? What's this?" I like that.
Yeah. That's. I think that's a good thing. I'm glad that people think that. Yeah. No.
What were you telling me about? Because you're mentioning that you were going to Blue Jays camp, like the training camp,
spring training. I just went down there, and I was actually disappointed. So I went down with my wife and her parents to Florida, and we're big baseball fans. And what I really wanted to do, I wanted to film asking American Canadian questions. So I was going to go there with a microphone, but like it got shut down real quick.
The people weren't having it?
No, I didn't even try. It's just like with security and the hustle and bustle of spring training, I had all my equipment, but I just didn't end up doing it at all. So I was kind of bummed out with myself. But yeah, I went down for spring training. It was fun. It was, getting some nice sun on your face after being in, your house over the winter. Like Canadians just hibernate over the winter, right? So getting some vitamin D was pretty nice. I wanted to ask you, so you do the comedy stuff, but you also got this restaurant reviews thing, which I think is fantastic. I can't remember which one I watched, but it was the one that had the dirty bathroom. And I was like, this is great shit. I like this guy. I think that's what made me like follow. How's that going? Like, obviously people see your restaurant reviews, and I feel like this is a great thing for Canadian creators. Like one of my buddies, Joseph de Benedictis, he does the same thing, goes and does reviews, but I love your style because it's just a little bit more, your style. So how is that all going?
You know what? I sort of stumbled into it, and it's going well enough that I got restaurants asking me to like come out and make a video. So
how does that work? They just like message you, be like, come make me a video?
They just say, hey, do you want to come have some food? And I say, sure, and I'll say, like, does this time work? I'll come at this time, and then just go and meet the people and have some food and video it. And what I liked about it was that it's just another piece of content that you can have easily. You can easily film yourself eating food, and then you have another video. Because when you're trying to put out multiple videos, like, I don't want to just keep doing green screen stuff every week because it just doesn't feel.
It changes the dynamic, right?
And you just open it up to new followers and new experiences. And I would never have thought that I would be like a guy going to being one of those guys filming themselves eat. Like you see them at a restaurant and you're like, come on, man, just eat the food. But now I'm literally that guy now, where I'm like at the camera and I'm filming it up. And
it is interesting being caught in the wild when you're like in a restaurant filming yourself and people look at you. It's like, but we're in this day and age where like it's definitely acceptable now, where like people are constantly vlogging, but I still even feel weird about it. Like it still doesn't leave me to this day.
Try to go like when there's no people there.
That's the idea,
But
but
I don't really want
one pair of eyes just staring at you the whole time.
I mean, I've done that when I did one of the dumpling places in Toronto. Like even the owner was kind of like, it was one I wasn't invited. I was just like, I'm going to do this place. And like, there was people looking at me wondering like, what are you doing? And like, I'm spending like 20 minutes filming the food before I eat it. But then ultimately, if you get a lot of views on it, you're making it for the people. So you got to sort of bite the bullet and
totally
be awkward and embarrassed for a little bit in order to get something good and magical. And
well, you take ownership of it, and I have to say you do it very well. I love the voiceovers and like the small little comedy here and there, or how comedy, but like just like these things that you come up with to say, it's just perfect. So yeah, your style's really good, and that's why like when I first saw your account, I'm like, why isn't this guy have like 500,000 followers yet? That was literally my question. So I'm glad that I jumped on a unicorn when I could.
I'd be careful jumping on a unicorn. But thank you. That's a nice compliment. I appreciate that.
Yeah, of course, man. So I have another question. I noticed that you have the Herzy Ice Cream, a comedy rap album. Did the rap album come first, and now you got into like more of the video stuff?
No, I mean I always just made anything comedy related, and I liked doing music as well. Like I was always really into music, and I made some music throughout university, and then I got out of university and I met some producers and engineers and I started dabbling in it. And I think only now, like, did I kind of figure out a bit more of like how I can make music that people might like to listen to.
Yeah. As opposed to comedy. I thought when I first opened up, I'm like, maybe this is going to be like some skits, like Adam Sandler, like old school stuff where it's like, Toll Booth Willie. I don't know if you ever listened to that.
I know those.
But like, I was like, that's what you should do. Like some audio skits.
I'm just trying to figure anything really. So like audio skits, I like that idea.
Yeah. It's just like you said, it's a matter of time and like, so much stuff, so many things to do. Like, I mean, I think all of us who create things, are trying to figure out what we're trying to do and how we're going to do it. And you just get like stuck in your head and you just have to get to a point where you're like, all right, this is just what I'm going to do today. I'm going to film a video, whatever it is, put it up and be done with it. Cause too many people like just spend so much time thinking about like, what are people going to say? How is it going to be perceived? Is this going to do well? And, obviously with success comes a lot of hate. So have you received any hate comments yet? And has it hurt you?
I wouldn't say like, I don't know, like I find it interesting to read comments. Ultimately, I'm coming from a place just even up to a few months ago where nobody was really saying anything at all.
Yeah.
So like to have anybody say anything, I'm thrilled, even if it's hate, because then I've learned is if someone writes something nasty, someone else might come to your defense. And then all of a sudden you got like a sub thread of people hating on each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
And ultimately like, that's all that really matters is that people are commenting and interacting. Like the algorithm doesn't know if it's negative or not, so I don't really take too much.
Speaking of the algorithm and TikTok, how does it make you feel as a creator when you've had the success of TikTok and then you find out, oh shit, TikTok might be taken down? How does that make you feel?
When I was watching all the all the Congress stuff or whatever, I was like, this better not happen. Like, I was thinking two things. I was thinking, I really hope that doesn't happen. I don't think it would. I think they're just trying to get bullied into selling it so that Americans can own your information and sell it and profit off it. Yeah. But then I was also thinking, like, should I be jumping on this trend right now of mocking this stuff and doing?
I was just about to say,
because I know a guy who just went from like 10,000 followers to 60,000 just because he was doing impressions of the people, and they were really good. And I was like, holy crap! Like that's serious growth, like 50K followers in like 2 days or something. But
yeah, the growth, like, I mean, you and I are talking like tens of thousands with our channels. Like some of the people that are on here where they see like, 50,000 to 100,000. Like I was talking to the What No Way guy. Do you know him?
Yeah.
What No Way from Alberta. He's gone, now he's at, I think like 2.8 million followers. And when I talked to him last week, he was at 2.3. So he gained 500,000 over a week.
It's quite a bit.
Like crazy. And the guy says, "What? No way."
Video. It's like a guy who's like shuffling through the videos for you.
Oh yeah, he's
bringing you the good ones.
Curator of hacks.
Curator. That's the word I was looking for. It's good. So
I got you. Oh, I love it. I love it. I think the thing that I love about him is that he's just so genuine of who he actually is. Like he's not putting on a character at all. He's just doing his things, and like the editing is like scrappy. It's just like here and there. He's like, you know, running around his shop trying to do these things. That's what I liked about it. But yeah, the growth is insane. And to think, I was like, what does your like dashboard look like when you hit that kind of thing? Like when you're talking like 25 million views in like 2 days, like that's just insane.
It is. It's wild, really. Just and see, when I first got on TikTok, like I just thought that you can get a lot of views easily. So it was like I didn't really feel like I wasn't grounded in reality, thinking like, oh, these are real people that are watching it.
Yeah.
But then over time you realize that like there's just a lot of people on TikTok, so they are real and they are watching it, and views are views.
Yeah.
You know, so I did one video, one of the food reviews, and it got a bunch of views. And one of the guys that I put on blast in the video, like making hamburgers, and he was like, he didn't want to be on camera, but I put him anyway.
Yeah.
I just bumped into him the other day, and he was like thrilled because like all these people from like high school were messaging him like, "Are you the guy in this video?" And like, I thought, wow, like, you know, a lot of people saw it, so it is.
It's good he's not a criminal.
It's funny. It's like I put some other guys in a video recently, and I was like, "What's your names?" They're like, "No, don't put my name."
No. Okay. Was that at the dumpling place?
No, that's at the Avani Bowls and Rolls. They had these two like random guys come out of nowhere and want to eat my food that I had just set up. And I was like, I'm going to film you eat this food. So, and then I filmed them, but then I was like, what's your name? They didn't want the names. And recently someone was like, you can have my name, but you can't put me on the camera. And it's like, so who knows?
So do you know how to track and like blur people out if you need to?
Of course.
Speaking of like you joining the TikTok family, you still took a while before you actually grabbed onto any real traction, right? And like, I mean, I see your earlier stuff, and that's like 500 videos here, or 500 views here, 200 views there, 300 views there. That's got to be so like, especially when you're trying on other platforms. It's like, where do you find the energy to keep on going to like try and strive to do better? Like, where does that come from? Because I know that takes a lot for me to do.
I think it's that at my age, in my 30s, it's either all or nothing. It's all or nothing right now. So like that's why I'm like, okay, like I have to figure this out. I have to try to figure out, am I able to like ever earn income from making content and videos, and can I be a player of some degree here? Like, do I have what it takes? Do I the stuff I want to make? Is it good enough, or should I just kind of consider this just a hobby and get a real job? You know, like I work in film and I do some acting and I work at a casting agency and a handful of things, but I'd really like to just dive fully into like just making videos. But I feel like there's a huge curve to get to a point where you're actually doing it full time.
Yeah.
So I feel I've given myself a certain time frame on how much longer I can kind of dibble dabble here. And if I can't get some traction and get to a point where I feel good and able to support myself financially to some degree, then I'll have to put it on the back burner, do it on evenings and weekends, and, you know, become an electrician, I think. Something like a skill trade where I can go at it for the next 40 years.
No, dude, you know, my buddy gave me one of the best advices when I was talking about doing like things that I'm doing right now. He's like, it doesn't matter what you're doing as long as you keep on doing it and don't stop. It will work eventually. It's just a matter, like if you end up quitting, then of course it's going to end. But if you keep going, it will work eventually. It's just a matter of when. So I think you have a lot of strengths, and just fucking keep going with it, man. You're doing awesome.
Thank you. I've learned that you got to just hang on to these moments. So when someone says something nice, you got to like absorb that and focus on the positive things and the affirmations, you know, the positive affirmations from people, but also stepping back and analyzing your own stuff. Like when I look back at my other videos, I understand why they don't do well. It's because they're not really relatable.
Right.
You know, like I've made a lot of obscure comedy in my time, and it's like that's fun and all if you're at like a film festival and people are forced to watch it.
Yeah.
But relatable is what the key is, and that's why I think I finally had a video that did well was because what's more relatable than a mom and a kid, you know, family stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean, the second I watched that video and saw, like, heard that voice, I'm like, I know that exactly. Like, I've definitely been this kid before, you know, like.
That
So
kind of opened my eyes to seeing that like people tag, they're like, oh, this is so my mom. Or
yeah,
tagging 5 people, this is your mom, or oh my god, I do this to my kids. So now I'm like, okay, now I understand. I felt so much better when I started actually putting time into TikTok because I was like, this community, like people comment. It's a huge deal for me to have any comments, even if it's negative. Like I said, like I just on Instagram, you could post something and you might not get any comments, and it's really just like throwing your work into the ether, and you're like, does anybody like it? And it's like,
yeah, that's very true. That's very true. Like I have, like, I mean, I haven't worked on promoting Instagram at all, but I've had like a couple of videos that are in 10,000. Like, there's no comments on it, no engagement whatsoever, and you're like, what? And you're right. The comments on TikTok are great. They're motivating. They're discouraging. They're, helping the algorithm. There's a lot of things that are going for TikTok. So I think it's here to stay.
Actually, you know what? Now I do remember. I did have one hurtful comment.
It's all like, coming back.
No, because I just remembered. And it was actually really funny because someone dropped a comment that was like, I love your stuff. And I was like, oh, that's nice. And then they followed me. And then like 4 minutes later, there was another comment that came up. It was like, he replied to his own comment, and he was like, never mind. I watched your other videos. They're not very good. Stick to food reviews. And I just and I posted that screenshot on my Instagram, and people got a kick out of that. But
that is funny. Well, I mean, that's the other thing with Instagram. It does serve its own different purpose. But as far as like video goes, I think TikTok's where it's at. As far as Instagram goes, they're still figuring out whether they're a photo app or they're a video app or a photo app again.
I heard there's I forget what it's called, Lemon something. It was like this ByteDance's version of kind of Instagram, but for photos. Like they pushed it in America, but
okay. There's a few different ones out there. I know like Peter McKinnon has been promoting one for a while, and I download it and I never use it. But yeah.
Where are you located?
I'm in Newmarket. Where are you actually located?
I'm in Toronto.
You're in Toronto.
Yeah. I saw before you had a lot of viewers from Nova Scotia.
That's good.
Popping in. I think we lost some viewers as soon as I hopped on. I was, oh, geez.
Oh, that's okay. That's what happens. It's really like, especially with Instagram. Like, is this your first TikTok live?
It's my first live ever, actually.
Oh, I'm honored. I'm honored.
I'm pleased that. I think one time I hopped on by mistake and then talked to someone for like 2 minutes on Instagram, but I was like, get me out of here. This is weird.
It's like Omegle. Like, you ever try Omegle where you just talk to strangers? It's like,
I've seen that.
Oh, dude. I think you should. So I have another YouTube. I have a YouTube channel that I did with my neighbor. It's called Two Neighbors, and we do It's a reaction channel, and we did a Omegle like video where we just like show who we're talking to, and it's so entertaining. Like, you should honestly use it in your content.
I've watched this rapper Harry Mack.
Yeah. Where he's like, "Can I rap? So give me like 3 words or something." Yeah, he's great, but. That's exactly the platform that I'm talking about.
It seems like so interesting that like you would be on this thing and you're like just chat roulette or whatever, and you're like talk to random people.
Yeah.
Like I can only imagine like the weird
it's
stuff.
Awkward as fuck.
Yeah, I can only imagine that there's lots of awkward stuff going on in there.
And you do see the random dick.
Oh yeah? Yeah, I can bet. People really would, I guess, get their kick off that. They're just like, oh man, I'm gonna get this next person.
Any notable people that follow you yet that you've taken notice of?
That's one thing that I was actually thinking today, because I was like, I've been growing followers every day, and I just scroll through a little bit, and I don't see many blue checks. So like I think that's just what I base it off, because like I stopped looking at the names because like it's all over. Like it could say like Leonardo DiCaprio, and you're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And it's like someone random, but I don't think yet. And that's what I was thinking. Like when does that happen? Like I assume like the algorithm works in a certain way that like you get certain levels, maybe you have to prove yourself by putting out so much content, and then you get this many followers, and then you
I don't know what I mean after like Elon Musk fucked with the Twitter check mark approvals and stuff like that. I don't know what is what because I think even Facebook charges for checkbooks now or check marks now.
Something like that. $10
Either way,
a month or something.
well, I've actually taken notice of a few people that do follow you on Instagram that I noticed. So one of them is Leah Faye from July Talk, the band.
Oh, you know her?
Yeah.
I went to high school with her. We had classes together.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I noticed her. Yeah, I know. I love July Talk.
It's funny. I don't know if I've ever actually. I don't know. I bumped into her at a film festival like 4 years ago, and she was like, "Brian Herzog," and I was like, "Leah?" Yeah. And then I guess we connected through there. But she had mentioned that she was in a band, and I checked it out on her Instagram, but I didn't see many clips on there.
Oh, yeah, that band's good.
That's interesting, eh? That you're saying that out of the notable people, that person that I was in high school with.
Yeah, that's what I noticed. I also noticed one of my buddies, John Simo, who's a cinematographer. You've probably seen him being in the film world.
Yeah.
He had Neon Demon Studio in the West End, I think, of Toronto. Oh no, East End.
I've never met him, but I've followed his stuff and a fan of his work. And he had a comedy series called Mind Fudge that I believe he was shooting with an actor whose name I can't pull up in this moment, but it was really great. I really liked it.
Yeah, no, he's got great stuff. I went to high school with him and we were in film class together. So he's doing some amazing things. Yeah, he lives in BC now, but I think he moved back to Hamilton and he shoots at Christoph Benfey. He's worked with Peter McKinnon. Anyways, he's got a studio, like a crazy warehouse studio in Hamilton, and that's where John shoots a lot of his car shots for BMW.
Oh, nice. His car stuff is prime. It's so good. Every time I see it, and he does a lot of like 3D camera stuff, and
he was like one of the first guys that I've seen really screw around with a 360 camera.
I really liked his work, and I like following guys like that because it just shows you like that avenue of like high quality video production, So that's cool though.
Yeah, no, and I also noticed, I don't know if you'll recognize this name, Rodrigo Fernandez, who's in Kim's Convenience.
Yeah, I've known him for a while. I'm sort of like I see him occasionally. I saw him the other night, real brief, at a comedy show. He's seriously funny. He's like one of my favorite guys just to watch do anything really. He's really funny.
Yeah, he's another guy that I went to high school with. I wasn't friends with him, but he came from my high school. I think he was a year or two older than me. But yeah, so those are just some of the notable people that I've noticed.
That's cool.
So, are you originally from Toronto?
Yeah, I've always been Toronto. I'm born here, raised here. I went to Dalhousie University for 4 years, so I was living in Nova Scotia for a long time. And then I came back here just because...
So how old are you?
I just turned 36.
36. Okay, so you're not far from me. I just turned 37.
Okay.
Literally on Monday. All right, so I have one last question, and then I'm going to head off because I got to do trivia night or else people get cranky. Do you use Adobe, DaVinci, or Final Cut?
I use Adobe, but I could see me switching over to DaVinci at some point. I don't want the learning curve of learning a whole nother program.
Yeah.
But
I feel the same way.
I want the color grading qualities of the DaVinci. So I know people who use it. They say they like it a lot.
Yeah, that's been I've seen a lot of people make videos about it. I just haven't I don't want to I know it. I do basic stuff. I don't need anything crazy.
It takes a long time to learn programs, and you learn all the hotkeys and you're boo 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 boo.
Yeah, for sure. Well, dude, thank you so much for saying yes to this, your very first live. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And again, great stuff. Keep on doing it, and we'll have another live when you hit that 100K.
I'm so flattered. It's so nice when people say such wonderful things. I really appreciate it. And even for you to reach out originally, I was like, ooh, someone's reaching out. This is good.
I want to be the first one. So when you're huge, just remember the little guy, okay?
We'll get huge together.
Well, dude, let's we'll talk offline because I'd love to chat with you more.
Cool. Thanks.
All
And
right.
thanks everyone who was watching. Appreciate it.
All right. See you, bud.